I was born 1967 in Taiwan, Taipei, Taiwan.
How are you raised?
I was the only child in my family, so my parents probably spoiled me rotten.
How?
We had maids in our house, so I never have to do any chores. I came to America when I was a junior in high school. And why did I come here? There was a story behind it. I hated my high school back in Taiwan because I was in a Christian boarding school, and I really hated that school. I wasn't Christian, and they would make us to go to Bible classes, and I saw it's really boring, so I would fall asleep, and I would do weird things like climbing up the roof or skip school to go home. And my parents saw that if I stay in that school, I would become a bad kid. And in Taiwan, the public education only lasts until ninth grade. And then if you want to go to high school, you have to go through entrance exam. So it's not like I could just switch out of my school and go to a different high school. It doesn't work that way. I will have to take the entrance exam again, which means I will stay back a year, and nobody wants that either. So my parents saw of sending me to America. And my mom was in the process of getting her green card then. And if she gets it, the whole family gets it. But we were still waiting, and she hasn't got the green card yet, but they didn't think that I could wait because I will probably become a bad kid very soon. So they sent me to America with a tourist visa, and I just stay here and don't go out of the country until I get my green card. Then I'm free to go anywhere. It was pretty fun. It's very different from Taiwan. It was very little homework compared with what I was used to. So I had a good time here.
How fast did you adjust to life?
I think pretty fast. I lived with my aunt, and he has a son who's in the same grade as me. So we go to school together every day, and he showed me around, and he has some friends who are nice to me too.
Was it difficult making friends?
It was okay. It was okay because some people were really curious about me, so they will approach me and start talking to me. And although I don't have great English and I had accent, but they didn't mind.
How many other Asians were in your school?
Just me and my cousin, and there is another girl who is half, and neither of them speak English. And there's also another boy who's a Cambodian refugee. And that's it. And rest are all white. It's a very small town in Massachusetts.
Did you ever feel bullied at your school because you were different?
No, I never felt I was bullied. Maybe some people who didn't talk to me and just look at me and look away, but they weren't mean to me. They just not talk to me. That's all. But I did see the Cambodian kid got bullied. I'm not sure if it's because he's a refugee or because he's an Asian.
How did he get bullied?
People will laugh at him when he do things differently. And like in Asia, you have to be respectful to your teachers. So if the teacher talks to you in class, you need to stand up. But the Americans don't do that here. They sit down and talk to the teacher. But he still kept his Asian way. He will like stand up and like make a big noise with his chair, so people will like laugh at him. And after class, I remember He tried to make friends really hard, but some people were not nice to him. They told him that the middle finger means respect, so he got suspended because he was showing the middle finger everywhere.
Oh, that's so sad.
Right, but I don't know. I saw he wasn't smart because no matter what people tell you, you should observe with your own eyes. Like when I came here, I saw people sitting down talking to their teacher, and I learned I wouldn't be different, but I don't know why he wouldn't learn. He was very stubborn to keep his own way, so maybe that's another reason why he got bullied. He didn't try to mix in with everybody else.
In class, we learned about the model minority stereotype is when Asians are expected to do better academically than the other races. Do you think your classmates and your teachers held you up to that expectation?
Back when I was in school, that was 30 years ago, there weren't that many Asians here. Maybe there were some in big cities, like in Chinatowns and stuff, but in the small town that I lived in, they couldn't really sample out Asian because there were only me and my cousin and the Cambodian kid. So they probably wouldn't stereotype based on what they see. It's too few of us to stereotype.
You said that your classmates were always really nice to you and they just naturally accepted you.
Maybe not all of them, but probably the ones that didn't accept me just didn't talk to me, and I wouldn't approach them either. I will only spend time and talk with the people who talk to me.
The small town you were in seems like an ideal environment for immigrants assimilating into American culture. How would you try to educate people now to be as accepting as the people who were in your small town?
The people in my small town were really nice to me, probably because they were curious about Asian culture. And nowadays it's different because you see a lot more Asians everywhere. But basically, people are usually uncomfortable with things they are not familiar with. And therefore, I think education is very important to let people get comfortable with other culture. The important thing is the media or the educator, they shouldn't stereotype people and give them the wrong ideas that everybody should behave the same way because no race behave the same way.
Thank you for this interview.
You're welcome.